Hello, welcome all to another video of Down and Hangout FM. Now since my last video, I was thinking, what should I talk about? Then I remembered the most anticipated movie of the summer,
Which is
Borderlands.
bullshit.
You call me. I'm actually talking about the mirth with the mouth and the man that is best at what he does, and that is Deadpool and Wolverine. This was a movie I was anticipated since it was announced. From watching the movie, I was not disappointed at all. It was so good, maybe at the end of the movie I pronounced it as one of my favorite Marvel movies. But I didn't come to give you all a review of the movie. No, anyone could do that. I came here to give you one of my why it succeeded videos. But this time it'll be a little different. Instead of talking about a trio of movies and why they succeeded, I'll be comparing and contrasting a movie that made a lot of money versus a movie that failed to make a lot of money. And which movie is that? Well, that is the last Marvel movie to be released in theater. Oh, no, not that movie. Oh, no, oh my goodness.
Damn, this is some scary shit.
Let me be more specific. The last MCU movie to be released. And that movie is Marvel's 33rd film, The Marvels. Now, some of you asking, why are you comparing these two movies? It's like comparing Kendrick Lamar's music to 6ix9ine's music.
That's low, man, real low.
I'm sorry, y'all. The Marvels wasn't that bad, but The Marvels was the last MCU movie to come out, depending when you're watching this video. And with Deadpool and Wolverine released a few months back, it made a mad amount of money, with people going crazy over the film too. So why is there such a gap between films where one side of the fan base loves it and some fans hate it, or completely forgot about it? Well, I'm going to decipher that question with some of my opinions. But before we get into this video essay, can you all like, subscribe, and comment on this video, please? We over at Down to Hang Out a Film love your support. Thank you. Now, let's get to the video.
Let's fucking go.
In the last few years, we've been getting a lot of Marvel content,
Like a lot.
and people are kind of burned out of it. I said this in a previous video essay of mine, but in the year 2021, we had 4 Marvel movies. Let's count them down, shall we? Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home. Out of those 4, we all know Spider-Man No Way Home was the best. Then on the flip side, we had 5 MCU shows to be released. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye. And out of those 5, WandaVision was the best. However, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was my favorite. In total, that's like, hold on a second. It was 3, 2, 5, 5, 6, 7, 6,000. Yeah, carry over the 100. That equals like 2,085,000. That's 9 projects.
9.
And from that point on, Marvel did not stop. From 2022 to 2023, Marvel was pushing projects out like Nick Cannon pushes out Kids.
Is that necessary?
But in the year 2024, Marvel had only one movie, which was Deadpool and Wolverine. With the absence of Marvel content, did a couple of things to fans, but they were hungry to see some of their favorite Marvel characters back on the screen again. And they didn't have to watch so many things to feel like they had to keep up. Marvel just released one project and fans were satisfied with just that one. Yes, I know there's a couple of Marvel MCU projects later on during this year, but we just talking about movies for right now. But the same cannot be said by the Marvels. See, the Marvels came out where there was a lot of Marvel content. Let's do this again, shall we? 3 movies, which were Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and The Marvels. Now on the flip side, there were 2 shows, Secret Invasion and Loki. And when all these were coming out, people were kind of like done with Marvel. Not because there was so much Marvel content, it was the fact that Marvel was delivering lackluster stories and characters that people didn't really gravitate towards. Except Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Loki. And then when The Marvels was released, it was the last piece of content released where people just felt like they moved on to other franchises and felt like Marvel had peaked and they couldn't top themselves anymore. Fans didn't feel like they needed to go see a superpowered Charlie and the Angels in space. But you know what fans wanted to see? 2 dudes with some great healthcare trying to kill each other. If I was to ask anyone who their favorite Marvel characters were, I promise you no one will say Captain Marvel.
1, maybe 2.
Maybe one person. But I met more people who told me their favorite is either Wolverine or Deadpool. And the reason is quite simple because Deadpool and Wolverine are interesting characters. Wolverine is a character that is complex for various reasons. He is damn near immortal, he has a past that he can't remember or isn't too proud of, and has a healthy temper. While sometimes he doesn't always want to save the day, he steps up and does it anyway. And to top it all off, Wolverine has a cool set of powers. He has a healing factor and those cool claws.
Ooh, shiny.
These are the traits that makes a cool character. and that's why people love him so much. Deadpool is a different beast himself. Yes, Deadpool has the same healing factor as Wolverine, but it's a little bit more than that. And people are fans of Deadpool simply because he's funny.
Oh, look at this little Harry Lou Retton. Did you stick the landing, little guy? Yes, you did, comic accurate short king. Such a cute widow Wolvie.
He's an anti-hero who's a fan of other Marvel heroes, more than other Marvel heroes, but like even some DC heroes. And the one that gives him his charm, he breaks the fourth wall. When Deadpool does this, we automatically feel a connection with the character, especially when he makes fun of the superhero genre. Fun fact, a lot of people have been introduced to this character by movies, anime series, and comics. My first introduction to Deadpool was through the masterpiece of the first Ultimate Alliance game.
It's a masterpiece.
At the time, I had no idea who this character was, but from that moment on, he became one of my favorite superheroes. However, people don't talk about Captain Marvel within the same way. Captain Marvel and her homegirls, actually, before I talk about the strongest Avenger, let me talk about Monica Rambeau, aka Spectre. Now, as a black person, I love to see a black superhero. But you know what I love more than a black superhero? An interesting black superhero. And Spectre was not that.
No, he did.
Yeah, I did. Being introduced to Spectre in WandaVision, I didn't fall in love with the character, but I did like her connection with Captain Marvel. But other than that, the character was alright. Her powers seemed cool, but not interesting to where she would become one of my favorites. However, a character I thought was interesting was Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. Now I have to say, I'm not the biggest fan of Miss Marvel, but I do enjoy the energy that she brings to the story that she's in. Miss Marvel is kind of like us in a way. She's a fan of all these other superheroes, dreams of going on adventures, and is having the time of her life when she is on an adventure with these other Marvel heroes. I feel that Miss Marvel is the type of character the Marvels needed, where she has a personality and brings some fun into the movie, where I feel that Spectre and Captain Marvel lack. And honestly, if she's announced that she's in the next Avengers movie, which I hope she is, I'm going to be excited, due to me wanting to see her interact with other superheroes, especially Spider-Man. Now, I have to talk about the elephant in the room, the big glowing elephant in the room, Captain Marvel.
Yawn.
Before I dive into this, I don't like talking crap about anything or anyone, but I will have to give my honest opinion. I don't like the character of Captain Marvel at all.
That's sexist. You're sexist.
No, I'm not a sexist. I just like my fictional characters to be interesting. To me, Captain Marvel is an OP character that I find kind of bland. What's funny about Captain Marvel is Rogue from the X-Men, who stole Captain Marvel's powers, is far better and more interesting character than from the superhero she stole from. So when the first Captain Marvel movie was released, I thought it would make her more of an interesting character.
I was wrong.
That movie was alright, and I still felt the same way about Captain Marvel after watching it. The movie was mediocre to the point I feel like Brie Larson was miscast as Captain Marvel, which I rarely say that about any Marvel casting. However, I'm not the only one who shares this opinion on Captain Marvel. No one in the world seems to favor Captain Marvel, and the only time people seem to root for her is when she's in the Avengers movies, fighting alongside other Avengers. But majority of her movies, she's always brooding and almost like she's trying so hard to be tough. In addition, what makes me have no interest in this character is that Marvel, both the movie studio and comic book company, stays forcing Captain Marvel down fans' throat. What do I mean by that? Is that Marvel tries so hard to convince people that Captain Marvel is the most powerful superhero in the MCU universe. I have a big issue with this because I feel like they do that because they know people are sexist towards the female characters and they try to convince fans to like her, but this is the wrong way to approach. The best way to tell me that this character is powerful and likable is to show that in the storytelling. There's an important rule when it comes to writing, and this is a very important rule.
Show, don't tell, man!
For example, in the first Iron Man, we see a selfish millionaire change his ways by transforming into a superhero. In Logan, we see a superhero living his last days as a sick individual, taking care of his mentor and protecting a young mutant being hunted down by cyborgs. When those movies came out, no one is telling us that these superheroes are badass and we should love them. We fell in love with those movies and characters because of great storytelling. Because you know what they did? They showed and not telling us to like these characters through promotions. I don't care if somebody tried to bribe me to like Captain Marvel. As of right now, I find her one of the most uninteresting characters in the Marvel universe. Which leads me to my next topic. It's no doubt that MCU has a lot of likable actors, from Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Elizabeth Olsen, Samuel Jackson, Tom Hiddleston, and now to add to that, great roster, we have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. And people love both these actors for good reasons. Both actors are charismatic, funny, great at their craft, and hold a lot of star power in an age where the name of movie stars is kind of dead. But above all, these actors are iconic in these roles.
Turn cultural icon.
I know this gets thrown around a lot, but both Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds were born to play these characters. Like me, a lot of people grew up watching Hugh Jackman play as Wolverine and couldn't imagine anyone else playing the character. And there are a lot of people out there who are growing up watching Ryan Reynolds play Deadpool. But the reason why these actors are great in these roles is almost like somebody brought these characters to life. Hugh Jackman brings the depth within the character, not only in the action scenes, but bringing out the anger in Wolverine whenever he fights someone or interacts with someone, even if they are a good guy. While Wolverine is this badass character who carries a lot of anger, Hugh Jackman displays emotional depth. In the movies, when Wolverine loses someone that's close to him, Hugh Jackman gives an Oscar-worthy performance.
It's so beautiful.
But another Oscar-worthy performance is Ryan Reynolds playing the Merc with a mouth. Even before Ryan Reynolds puts on the red spandex, he was playing Deadpool way early in his career. But when Ryan Reynolds first played the character in X-Men Origins Wolverine, it was perfect casting in a bad movie. Thankfully, he got another chance to play Deadpool and to prove to everyone not only was he meant to play the character, but he is here to stay as a character. Ryan Reynolds proved with 3 movies that he is great as a character, from his faithful portraying the character by him breaking the fourth wall, making fun of other superheroes, and being a character that is badass, but also making Deadpool have depth. Now, to start with the good part of the Marvels, I'm going to start with Iman Vellani. Someone in the comment section, please tell me if I pronounced her name right or wrong, because from now on, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. There's a common argument that Iman Vellani is the star of the Marvel, from her being a character that brings joy and emotion to the film. In addition, the character of Kamala Khan feels like an avatar for the audience, due to her feeling like a Marvel fan who was transported into the MCU. Similar to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman being the only actors I can see playing Deadpool and Wolverine, I can't see anyone else play Kamala Khan other than Iman Vellani. However, I can't say the same for Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel. Both Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel are characters I feel that anyone could play. And when I say this, I'm not saying Teyonah Parris and Brie Larson are bad actors. When I watch them in Marvel projects, they don't convince me that they are these characters and only they are the actors that can play them. Teyonah Parris is a good actress. I've seen her perform in great roles within so much better movies such as They Clone Tyrone. As for Brie Larson,
Oh, here we go again.
nah, because it's not even like that. I don't hate Brie Larson, and I feel that she's overhated for reasons I'm not too sure about. But do I think she's a bad actress?
Not at all.
Now, do I think she's an okay actress?
Very much.
Seeing Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in the few movies she's been in, I just feel that she's been miscast, and I honestly feel that another actress can do the role more justice. But there's a future for Captain Marvel where Brie Larson could show everyone, including myself, that she was born to play this role.
In tradition of Marvel, they usually release their movies usually around the end of April or the first weekend of May. Although this year, Marvel waited to the weekend of Comic-Con to release the movie.
Genius. Absolute genius.
To me, that was no coincidence. That was the marketing team and probably Ryan Reynolds trying to capitalize on the fans coming together on Comic-Con. Everyone who went to Comic-Con either dressed up as different Deadpools and Wolverines and attended Hall H. To all those fans, they were blessed with a special screening of the movie, which amped up the hype of the movie already. By Comic-Con being a whole marketing place towards Deadpool Wolverine, by there being a lot of merch, people dressing them as the characters from the movie, and people who weren't in Hall H for the screening convinced other people to go see the movie. And from this hype, the movie made $1 billion.
$1 billion.
By the way, every time I talk about a movie making $1 billion, I'm going to use that clip. However, the Marvels did not have that same type of energy. The first Captain Marvel movie made $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Through its release, however, the Marvels failed to reach those numbers from one of the reasons is from the writers and actor strike. During the time of the strike, actors could not promote the movie, which mostly hurt the viewership of the Marvels. People couldn't see the actors or filmmakers interact with one another during the press tours or talking highly of the movie. The few things we did see is some of the actors present the movie and TV spots here and there. However, the noise for the Marvels was quiet.
Silence.
One of the things I love about the Deadpool movies is the marketing that comes with it. From a character that knows he's a fictional character that lives in a universe that doesn't exist, the marketing team will always have fun. With Deadpool Wolverine, there were a plethora of marketing for this movie. Deadpool appeared in so many commercials this summer. We saw him feeding a couple some pizza, him and Wolverine drinking some Heineken beers. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know if I pronounced that right. Heineken. Let's just say beers together. The two of them on Spotify podcast and Deadpool hanging out with Jack from Jack in the Box. By the way, that burger from the promotion looked so good. Blind Al talking about how Deadpool uses Old Spice, but the best marketing I've seen for this movie is Deadpool being at Disneyland. So, for the people who don't know, since Avengers Campus opened up at Disney California Adventure, every time a Marvel project, whether it be a movie or a show, Disney will have the main hero of the series come out and interact with guests. By Deadpool Wolverine coming out, they had both characters there at Avengers Campus. From the day it was announced that Deadpool Wolverine were going to be in a movie together, I told people, watch Deadpool Wolverine be at Avengers Campus. For 2 years, a lot of people told me that that was going to happen because Disney would never allow R-rated characters at Disneyland. Well, people, here is the proof. But I'm going to be true about this, move on, and act like I wasn't right.
I told you!
The marketing for this movie was not only great, but fun to where each promotion had me hyped up for the movie. But the Marvels struggled to give me the same energy with their marketing campaign. Now, I didn't expect the Marvels to have the same type of marketing as Deadpool Wolverine. However, there was barely any marketing for this movie. When I say barely, I mean I saw a few TV spots and posters in the city I live in, but I feel like Marvel wasn't trying to push this movie like other movies. The marketing for the Marvels was so low that I talked to a few people who didn't even know the movie was coming out. Plus, when I did see marketing for the movie, it seemed desperate. What I mean by desperate is that the TV spots or trailers would come out for the Marvels and it would show different Marvel characters such as Captain America, Iron Man, or even Thanos as if they were going to show up in the movie. This was a desperate ploy to trick audience to thinking these characters would show up or the movie will have some kind of connection to these characters, and that didn't happen at all. Both Deadpool and Wolverine, along with the Marvels, had two everyday pets within their movies. Deadpool and Wolverine had a dog known as Dogpool, while the Marvels had an alien cat called Goose.
Goose!
Both these movies, marketing surrounded on Dogpool and Goose, but honestly, the marketing for Dogpool was far better. Y'all know why? Cause dogs rule.
And cats drool!
And yes, I'm a dog person, but I do like cats as well. However, Dogpool was so much cuter where I just wanted to adopt the dog myself. Versus Goose was cool and had a purpose in the Marvels, but I just didn't care about Goose like I did with Dogpool. That's it for this section. Deadpool Wolverine was on the majority of people's highly anticipated movie of the year, and it delivered on all accounts. It delivered not only from the fact that it was just another Marvel movie, but because it was different from all of the Marvel movies.
Why is that?
While Deadpool and Wolverine are already Marvel characters, these two are new to the MCU, in which they were originally Fox characters. By Deadpool and Wolverine crossing over to the MCU, they bring a new taste and a breath of fresh air, where they're their first R-rated property in the MCU. And some argue that Werewolf by Night is the first, but for as a theatrical release, we're going to say Deadpool and Wolverine. With Deadpool and Wolverine being the MCU's first rated R movie, it amped up excitement for the movie going experience. But before I move on with this, the movie was announced to people back in 2022. And people were worried about it because about Disney making the movie PG-13 or making this a family-friendly movie. But after seeing this movie and making $1 billion, people have changed their minds.
Moving on.
While this movie was on top of everyone's list, not only did this movie make $1 billion, it was a good fun ride. Seeing Deadpool and Wolverine in their second run on screen, cause remember the last time we saw them on screen together? We Marvel fans have come a long way. This movie was fun from start to finish. With its great and iconic intro, the fight scenes, the cameos that made me speechless and fanboy like crazy.
Yes! Yeah!
One thing that I love about this movie is that for once I knew all the songs from a movie soundtrack. But there was one or two songs I know about, but all these songs were bangers. And what made the movie great was the jokes that Ryan Reynolds had as Deadpool and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman made this movie from their great chemistry as two characters who don't get along and want nothing to do with each other. Well, Wolverine wants nothing to do with Deadpool, but Deadpool loves Wolverine as they come together to fight a common threat. From this movie, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are not only an iconic duo, but iconic as these characters. However, I wish I could say the same for the Marvels. The Marvels feel like a generic Marvel movie that everyone's been complaining about for the past few years. The characters Captain Marvel and Spectre aren't interesting characters for me to care about, although Ms. Marvel is much more deeper character after 3. Ms. Marvel is a cool character who desires to be a great hero like her idol Captain Marvel. However, she is faced with the reality of when you're a hero, you can't save everyone. However, the movie does expand on that and only brings up that message once. Throughout the movie, nothing is cool or memorable, and the ending feels rushed. And this movie, I noticed, is shorter than a lot of your typical Marvel movies. That's probably because of reshoots and it had to be edited down because originally it was supposed to be released in the middle of 2023 of the summer, like in July, but they moved it to November, probably because of those reshoots. And of course, we are presented with a whack villain to where I can't even remember her name. Now, to be fair, Deadpool Wolverine's villain, Cassandra Nova, wasn't really the best, but at least she was effective and low-key scary. But now, for the conclusion. In 2023, Marvel has had some hit and misses, with one of their biggest flops was The Marvels. However, they reclaimed another hit in 2024 with Deadpool Wolverine. Deadpool Wolverine is everything not only a Marvel fan could get, but a person who loves movies can get. Deadpool Wolverine brings Marvel fans together by it being the only movie from Marvel within this year, depending when you're watching, although the Marvel suffers from too much Marvel content. In 2023, there was a full slate of Marvel content in where a Marvel fan could go crazy from different films and TV coming from their favorite comic book franchises. However, it hurt them rather than helped them. What helped Deadpool and Wolverine was the star powers of the characters and actors. For the past 20 years, Deadpool and Wolverine have grown increasingly popular, not only with Marvel fans, but with general audiences. The reason for this is from them being interesting characters, along with them being in different mediums such as movies, video games, and TV shows. And without any spoilers, it's been a good year from Gambit. With Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman's great performance behind these characters attracts people to enjoy these characters even further. The Marvel suffers from people not liking Brie Larson for reasons I'm confused about, and then there's people who don't care for the character, from Captain Marvel just being an overpowered and boring superhero. Another thing that increased the hype of Deadpool and Wolverine was the weekend of Comic-Con. Every fanboy and fangirls always look forward to the big Comic-Con weekend in San Diego. And that weekend when Deadpool and Wolverine released, everybody who attended Comic-Con went to see the movie as if it was part of the event. The Marvels had an event that actually decreased the hype. During the time of the release of the Marvels was the unfortunate event of the writers and actors strike. In a way, hurt the movie. From this happening, the movie could not be promoted like the studio wanted it to be, or even marketed in a certain way. Marketing played a big factor in Deadpool and Wolverine, where there wasn't a place you could go where you didn't see the movie advertised. In the month of June and July, Deadpool and Wolverine were everywhere. Two superheroes were advertising beer, on a podcast, hanging out, eating burgers and pizzas. The marketing could not be topped to where people were reminded that this movie was coming out. But the marketing team failed with the Marvels. The marketing team had to promote the movie without its leading stars, along with the trailers seemed to be so desperate as if they are promoting another movie. While the movie's marketing were two completely different styles, both had two people's favorite house pets, a dog and a cat. Deadpool and Wolverine had the cute dog Pooh, and the Marvels had the cat Goose. But we all know why we prefer dog Pooh over Goose. You know why? Cause the dogs rule
And cats drool!
Lastly, Deadpool and Wolverine was simply a good movie that I wanted to see for Marvel for a long time. Two iconic characters on a road trip while trying to get along and having a common goal. I guess the reason I wanted to see this movie for the longest was due to me loving buddy cop movies, and Deadpool Wolverine felt like this was just a buddy cop movie but with superheroes. But The Marvels is a Marvel movie that is forgotten in time, and the only reason why it will be remembered is from it being a part of the MCU. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind seeing The Marvels in another property like an Avengers movie. But going back to Deadpool and his homie Wolverine, while the movie did have its problems, I had fun watching the movie from start to finish, where it holds a special place in my heart and probably is going to be in my top 10 favorite superhero movies of all time. And to this day, I don't know what my number one superhero movie of all time is. Thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you all enjoy this video essay. I have a plethora of video essays to come in the future. This one here I meant to release back a few months ago, but life got in the way, and so yeah. Please leave a like and subscribe and comment. What I always love to do at the end of this video is to leave a question. So my question is, what two superheroes would you want to see in a movie or show together? For me, it's Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Deadpool. And I don't want to see any Spider-Man. I want to see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man interacting with those two. I feel like that's a movie everyone's been waiting for, and I feel like that movie will be in the right hands. Great. So yeah, just tell me you guys' thoughts, and I'd love to see your answers. And I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.